So almost everything in Gravity was made in post-production. How was it to shoot a movie like that?
Yeah, but it was an odd process because when you talk about pre-production, in this film, most of pre-production happened before we start shooting. One of the only ways I can explain this film is that we have to complete post-production to begin pre-production. And once that we finish shooting, then we have to restart the film again. So it was a very strange process.
So what kind of techniques did you use while shooting? Did you use green screens or something like that?
No, not green screens. We used, because the problem is that with the green screens is that something that we wanted to convey very carefully is the light in space. That is as a light unlike any light in planet Earth, because there's no atmosphere, so it's a harsh, direct light. And the problem when you have green screens is that then you have all this bounce from the green screen giving greenish hues into the skins. And we wanted those hues to have the actual photoreal representation of what it would be. As many techniques that we use robotics. You know, the robots that they used to build cars, adapted for cameras and lights. Special rigs built specifically for this, and LED lights, particularly something we call the light box. That is a cube, an empty cube, that is 3 meters by 3 meters, in which all the inside walls are LED screens, and the actor is performing inside in the middle of the cube. And I think that all of these techniques they have in common is that most of them are pre-programmed. So we have to animate the whole film early on in the shoot with very, very, very precise animations. We have to light the animations very precisely with the exact texture of light that we're looking for. And that it was going to inform what we were going to shoot.
So very strict were the actors allowed, nevertheless, to improvise a little bit? Or
very little.
Very little.
And they did. But they could improvise in the frame of very little mobility. You know, they could improvise in the frame of a very close neighborhood and timings, but they would have to stick to their positions, marks, and cues. And so it was more like a choreographic ballet that they would have to follow a very strict timing. It was more like a choreographic ballet in which the actors had to rehearse these choreographies for a long time in order that when we were rolling camera, we were only concerned about the performance. And they were amazing doing that.
Yeah, but I think I've seen some CGI done with the actors, some CGI actors. So how many scenes did you use CGI actors?
Very little. Very, very. We use CGI to do parts of the actors or spacesuits, but the faces, almost the whole film is the actors. Because that's something that we wanted to keep, you know. We wanted to keep that expressiveness. Because at the end, this is not a film about technology. The technology, all of this, and I'm glad that people are so curious and so preoccupied about the technology behind the film. But at the end, the technology is nothing but a tool to be able to achieve this cinematic experience, and a tool in order to be able to express the emotional ride of our characters. And the foremost and most important effect here in this film is the performance of George Clooney and Sandra Bullock.
So was it tough to get the project greenlit at the beginning? Because the industry right now loves their franchises. I mean, Gravity is an original movie.
Well, to the date, the film has not been greenlit. It's one of those situations. And it's true, actually. We haven't been greenlit. We began the process. I have to say the studio, Warner Brothers, has been super supportive. It began with this kind of generic, we have the screenplay, and the screenplay read a little bit or pretty much like the film, and it was like what is called a page turner, and so the studio was really behind it, but at the same time they said, well, it's just a space movie with one character floating, and it's not a franchise, it's not a brand. So I have my limitations of budget. That was clear, that there was going to be a limitation of budget. So they start investing I needed to develop the technology, and they start investing in it. And they invest so much money in that technology. We developed technology for 2 years. And then after when we knew that the technology was closed, we planned a shoot. They pay for the actors and they pay for the shoot. And one day before we start shooting, the technology was not working. And without that, all the investment of the technology and the shoot was going to just completely collapse. Happily, the next day, everything started working. We finished the shoot. And then we have all this footage, but it took the studio another 8 months to be able to see anything, because now we needed to make it sense. The bits and pieces that we have, we needed to put it together with visual effects and animations. And then, I didn't see anything after the shoot for maybe 5 months, and I saw 3 seconds. And we didn't know if it was going to work. Everything was theoretical. And then, because everything was prototypes. And then we did, the studio finally saw the thing, started seeing material 8 months later. So, and then eventually we finished. That's the reason we were going to release a year ago and we didn't finish. And the studio said, okay, well, you need a month more? I says, no, I need a year. And they were supportive not happy, nobody's happy about that, but supportive. And I'm saying all this long story because in all that long process, the film was never greenlit.
Okay, thank you very much.